Okay, anyway. I missed the Grammys. I kind of predicted what the Grammys was going to be. I tweeted out one of these little prediction markets, and I told you who was going to win. I actually thought they were going to, because the Grammys is a really woke organization, right? They usually try to give awards to these songs that have a message, that stands for some social purity, that is like morals over sales, right? Like, this is for a good cause. This is talking about the LGBTQ community, right? And I thought they were going to give it to, the person who checked all the boxes, the industry plan. And when I say industry plan, I'm kind of being a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but come on now, guys. Deutsche, right? Deutsche is like the modern-day representative of what the Grammys would like. A woman who claims she hates men. Like, her. I want to keep in mind, anytime we mention Deutsche, I'm going to always play you this clip. Her biggest red flag in life is a straight black man. Oh, no, she didn't say black. Just a straight man, period.
Okay. What's my biggest dater?
Now,
is it close enough? You want to guess one more time what would be a red flag for me? Bad music taste? Oh, that is a good one. Because that's one for me. That is a good one. Like, but that's not what I put. You don't listen to Michael Jackson. But okay. Okay. This is a huge red flag for me. All right.
Her red flag is a straight man. And a lot of super progressive, pandering, feminists, they just hate men, period. Like, it's just like, for them, they're like, men have no use in society. Like, let's get rid of these guys. And, lost of the days where I think, we had some codependency where men knew they needed women and women clearly knew they needed men. These days, and it's a byproduct of a little bit of feminism where it's like, okay, cool, we love for you guys to have your rights and respect. But now it's turned to, okay, let's get rid of these motherfuckers, okay? Now that we got all our rights, let's get rid of the dudes, okay? And Deutsche represents that, and usually the industry usually celebrates and heralds people like that. So I actually thought that, that anxiety, I thought she was going to actually win an award for that. She didn't win. The Grammys proved once again, and this was a really disappointing Grammys for me. And I'm not going to make this political here, right? But I do want to say this. To save you the, suspense, Kendrick swept again. He swept all the rap categories. And at this point, we do have to say, first of all, the reason why I didn't stream it live, I don't really care that much about the Grammys, but I do know it's going to be a topic of conversation. I got to cover the culture. But here's what I say. If the Grammys at this point, they're comfortable with rappers and artists like Drake and The Weeknd, and it's not about just them, they're ostracized from the Grammys. They have said, we're not submitting our music anymore because you guys are not a true representative of the culture. Let me tell you this. And I know I'm a little scatterbrained sometimes, but just let me get through this. Back in 2017, and I'm probably going to mix up who actually solicited my advice. It was either the camp of Lil Uzi Vert or it was Yachty himself. It might have been Yachty himself. No, I think it was the camp of Lil Uzi Vert. Anyway, let me make the story succinct. So in 2016, 2017, I got solicited for some advice, okay? And it was just like, hey, listen, the XXL freshman cover, they've reached out. They want to include us on this list. Was it 20? Okay, let me just continue the story. They were, and again, I don't know which one, but it's irrelevant. Let's just think about the main thing I'm saying. The camp that solicited my advice, they were in a, pickle, so to speak. They were saying, should we do the XXL cover, the freshman cover, or should we not? And at that time, people were trying to figure out, is this a new cool thing to do or to continue to do? Because they've been doing it. And my advice to them, because at that time, based on the information that were given me, some artists were choosing not to do it. And I said to them, you should only do the freshman cover because it's not a individual thing. It's about a class, and it's also about recognition among your peers. My advice and again, I can't remember which one it was. It was Uzi or Yachty. It wasn't. I never talked to Uzi personally then, so it was either Generation Now, which is a label, or it was Yachty. I was talking to Yachty directly at the time. My advice was, I think you should not do the cover if you're not there with your peers, because it doesn't matter. Who cares if you're getting rewarded and you're getting these accolades, but you're not competing against your peers? We know who the peers are. And that was my advice to them 10 years ago. Who cares if you're on the cover if you're not with the guys who's on your caliber, who you're really competing with in that era? And this is where I get to my Grammy gripe. The Grammys to me is devalued. I just don't see, it's the Kendrick Lamar award show now. It's the Kendrick Lamar award show. Just give him every award. And it's not about him winning. It's that we're not seeing not only peers, but seeing the people that we believe are competitors. So essentially, it's this woke award show that's just meant to reward and keep patting Kung Fu Kenny on the back. These are empty awards, chat. Now, granted, it has a long storied history. People are not going to diminish it. They're going to say, well, hey, listen, Jay-Z has all the Grammys and Kendrick just passed him. So we got to give credit where it's due. But things do become antiquated at a certain point. Award shows died. If there is no more MTV Awards, there is no more Source Awards, there's no more VH1 Awards. These things have gone away. And if it wasn't for the lack of the ratings that they didn't pull, because over time people got disinterested and also the artists stopped showing up, it became for the politics they played, the favoritism they showed, and the fact that at a certain point they stopped representing the actual conversation being had. What am I trying to say, chat? I'm not upset at Kendrick Lamar winning, and I want no one to take that as the thing. I'm saying that I'm looking in these categories and he's not competing with the people that we would think is his peers, and that's the problem. And even if we don't think is his peers, when we look at any cultural outlet from last year, in that period that they call the Grammy, all right, let's think about this, right? So Grammy Rap Album of the Year. Let's look at the nominees. This is the nominees right here, chat. This is the nominees, right? And we're going to get to Bad Bunny in a bit. But everybody, lock in. Thank you guys for joining us here, everybody. Oh, we didn't launch on King Akademiks yet? Hold on, give me 1 second. Apologies. Oh, we did. Just a slow launch, but we're there now. Let me just make sure. As per usual, guys, lock in. Roll up a blunt. Get some liquor. Whatever you got to do to enjoy like a good couple hours of streaming with me. If your girl asking for some dick, just tell her chill out. Pop a honey pack. You'll be good. After the stream, you'll be able to give her that rock solid. Don't you worry. But right now, we got business to attend to. Okay. We're live pretty much on all our platforms. Yes. Okay. Perfect. So, I just want to show this, right? And when it came to, I want to look at the rap categories. And I want to be very clear with my gripe, because people are going to take this based on what they think my biases are. And they're going to say, well, Akademiks, you're just mad at Kendrick Lamar. That's not what I'm mad at. I actually don't really have that much of a problem with Kendrick winning. But I don't think Kendrick is competing with the people that should be competing with. Respectfully. Okay? It's a lot of woke songs on here, but I want to even point this out. And I'm not going to personalize this and you know, call out any rapper because everybody deserves whatever they're awarded. And I know these guys put in a lot of work, and we live in an industry, it's really tough. But I do want to point this out. If you go to any rap outlet, and we're talking about culture rap outlet, we're not talking about like Anthony Bichtano, who this guy's like a cuck, right? Like this guy's like a cuck. Like he's really not in the culture. He's like this guy, he really likes rock and roll. He's just like this reviewer who, like, you know, for whatever, he's like Pitchfork in reality, right? We're talking about cultural outlets, and even the ones that are fringe, Complex, Hypebeat. Well, they don't do this type of stuff anymore. I think everybody has a really good consensus of what 2025 was. If I asked you what was the dominating albums, topics, artists 2025, how could we have this discussion? Keep in mind, I believe GNX dropped in 2024, late, right? GNX release date. It was, yes, late 2024. However, it's in the eligibility period. By the way, I have no problem with it being nominated. And also, I have no problem with it winning. But I'm talking about the competitors. And this is why I think the Grammys or the Scammies, whatever you want to call it, is devalued. Because winning an award when you're not competing versus the people you should compete with, it's like Usain Bolt racing a toddler that don't even walk. He's crawling. Is he the fastest man in the world? We don't know. We don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he's not. The field of nominees has to be strong. If we talked about 2025, we're having an objective conversation here. And I know some of y'all might be like, I know what you're about to say. You're rocking the shirt. NBA YoungBoy is listed as MVP of the year. He's not listed in any type of awards. There's no award for that. There's no Grammy award that would signify his contribution in 2025. How is that so? Playboi Carti has the biggest album. The biggest moment in 2025 in terms of a rapper releasing an album is Playboi Carti dropping music. No nominations. Not even a win. Not even. He doesn't even get acknowledged. I spoke to Carti about this when I was backstage at the show when he was styling me. I don't want to speak for someone else, but I'll tell you, he was a little bit, and I'm being nice, he was a little bit disappointed. Carti felt he played the game. He said to me directly, he said, I could have just made an album just for my fans. But they told me, you needed to make songs that were global. Songs were like this. You need to do this. You need to have collabs. He told me, he said, I went for the guys who get nominated. I brought them in. He drops his album. Playboi Carti doesn't fit the bill. Maybe it's his personality or lack thereof, or maybe it's because he's not an outgoing person. Whatever it might be, maybe it's his sound, maybe it's his look. Who cares? No nominations. I'm not doing this rant to only stick up for Playboi Carti. What I'm trying to say is, with all due respect to everybody who's on this list, you're telling me we could have a serious conversation about best rap album, and the two artists that dominated the conversation for the majority of the year, Playboi Carti and NBA YoungBoy, they're nowhere to be found. It's like they don't even do rap. It's like they do something else. But Kendrick, who does do rap, and obviously, I'm saying all three of these guys do rap, he gets the win. And I'm not here shitting on Tyler, the Creator. Shout out to JID and shout out to Glorilla. You know, I've kind of turned to a Glorilla fan. And, you know, obviously the Clips, they came back around with a comeback album. Rock Nation style, right? But the problem here is there's an asterisk next to these wins. Let's get serious. We got to get serious at some point. It's an asterisk next to these wins. These awards don't match the conversation. The nominees don't match the conversation. The artists that we're saying are dominating are not even recognized. That's the problem. It's not about if Drake was there. It's not about one artist. It's that the Grammys have now turned into, if Kendrick opens his mouth, just hand him the Grammy right now. That's the problem. And I know when Drake said it, he was hyperbolic about it. But this time, just kind of watching this shit, I'm like, you remember when Nicki Minaj kept winning Best Female Rapper every year? With all due respect, Nicki is the greatest female rapper of all time. But I'm going to be honest with y'all, chat. Let's go to a random year, right? We're going to go to MTV Awards. MTV Awards, let's go to 2012 Best Female Rapper. We could go to 2013, actually. Yeah. That's before the new female renaissance. Let's go look at Best Female Rapper. Okay, so there wasn't one there. Was there one at the VMAs? No, it was the VMAs. BET Awards. Oh, I hate using BET Awards because that's like the ghetto awards, but whatever. BET Awards. Best Female Rapper. Nicki Minaj defeated Azalea Banks, Eve, Rashida, and Rai Rai. Come on now. That's like them saying, I'm a valedictorian in a class filled with Lil Baby and Meek Mill. Oh, I'm really smart. I'm really a genius. Huh? Yo, Ak is really a smart guy because he beat these guys out in an intellectual competition. Come on, man. Who's Rai Rai? I don't even know who that is. My point is not a Kendrick point. My point is about award shows and at some point them getting to the complacency place where they stop actually trying to have awards and categories that have competition to let's just make some shit up to keep giving the same motherfucker the same award. Now, I want to show y'all this is not a Kendrick point solely. I think they should have just gave Nicki Best Female Rapper ever, like a 10-year award, and just stop doing this shit every year. Who are these motherfuckers? Again, Azalea, I do know you. Eve, you know, you're a legend. Rashida, I think I know her from Love and Hip Hop. And Rai Rai, I don't know what this is. Respectfully. Do y'all understand my fucking point? We've gotten there. I know some of y'all gonna be like, nah, Ak, this is very different. Everybody love them some Tyler. Okay, I get it. Jid, he's a lyricist. He's Dreamville. Got you. The Clips, they're rapping about that sweet, pure white cocaina. Got you. But motherfucker, like, only the fucking 40-year-old pasty Twitter nerds, okay, are talking about these things because culturally, the niggas we were talking about, one, that I'm wearing a shirt with a motherfucker's face, they dominated the conversation, and they're not even mentioned. The equivalent what the Grammys is turning into is like me gathering 5 bums from my local YMCA, bringing them to my backyard. I knock out all 5 of them, and I'm the heavyweight champion of the world. Of course. This is who you're competing with, 5 bums. And again, I want to be very clear. I'm not calling these other people bums. But I want to say, if the Grammys aren't evaluating the field to get you know how it works in the Olympics? This is why they do heats. You don't just, Sha'Carri Richardson don't just like show up to fucking the Olympics and says, whoever y'all line up with me, when I beat them, give me the gold medal. No, this is the first heat. This is the second heat. We got the third heat. Okay, all right, cool. Now you go to this game. You gotta it's the best survival of the fittest. When you get to that Olympic race for the gold medal, the theory based on all of the things and the steps and hurdles they put you through is that the best is competing with the best. I'm here to tell you it doesn't feel that way anymore. You know how in the NFL, they'd be like, this is the Naismith Award, or this is the Jerry West Award. If it's, I don't know if they have one, but this is the Vince Lombardi Trophy. They should call the rap category, this is the Duckworth Award. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm disappointed. And I was actually even hoping Deutsche won. So I'm like, all right, they're trying to switch it up a little bit. But ever since they snubbed Kendrick when they gave it to Macklemore, which Macklemore did the most, hey, I don't deserve it. Give it to, Grammys, could I just give it to Kendrick? And by the way, Kendrick did deserve it that time. I'm not going to lie to you. Remember when Macklemore won? Macklemore wins Grammys over Kendrick. The boy wrote like a fucking essay. It was Best New Artist. By the way, this was the first nigga to apologize to Kendrick. I know J. Cole saying, yeah, point him out. Point him out. I wasn't the first. I was like the last. Okay, Cole, I got you. We're going to break down your lyrics in a minute. He penned a fucking apology. Disgusting. I hope it's not still up there on his Instagram. I hope not. It's still up there. Oh, my God. The nigga texted Kendrick, you got robbed. I wanted you to win. What type of beta male fuckery is this? You got robbed. I wanted you to win. Ever since then, in 2014, the Grammys haven't been up for air. They've been sucking Kendrick's dick. I don't even know if he got semen left in his body the way this Grammy's been sucking dick. It's weird and it sucks. I robbed you. What the fuck? I was going to say that during the speech. Then the music started playing during the speech and I froze. Anyway, what's your address? I'll just send the award over there. You're the best. I'm the worst. What the hell? What type of bitch made shit is this? Congrats on your music this year. Appreciate it. This is a J. Cole message. I had to go refresh the page. Did it say Macklemore or J. Cole? My text to Kendrick after the show. Why everybody keep apologizing to Kendrick? He deserved it. What? I'm honored and completely blown away to win. But in that category, he should have won. Ain't taking nothing away from... Oh, my God. I hope my point is made. And some people who are disingenuous, because I have a lot of people... You know why I'm good at my job? I really think I'm the most logical nigga in the whole game, honestly. Like, I'm doing it with logic. These motherfuckers, they're dick riding. You seen all the YouTubers who were, like, popping when, like, they were, there's a couple, like, YouTubers super hating on me because they were on, like, the Kendrick dick riding bandwagon. That was their only skill. Like, it was, like, an up and down thing, just riding Kendrick's dick. They're all, like, irrelevant again. The only way you break through, you gotta actually have something that you could build on. Anyway, I digress. And so I'm saying there's some bad actors that are going to say, yo, Akademiks flipped out that Kendrick won. They're going to cut it here. So they're not going to hear this part because they're disingenuous. Kendrick may have still won even if he did compete versus Cardi and Cardi, Youngboy. Not saying Youngboy should have got Album of the Year nomination, but I'm not saying Kendrick doesn't still win. But I'm kind of like, it's kind of a little bit, I don't like that they're not representing the field anymore. This is not the field. It's the woke award show, and Kendrick is the one who qualifies because he's like the woke leader. So everybody else that culturally we talk about kind of like act like, the Grammys act like they don't do music. But at least act like you're going to put the competition up there. That's my thing. Again, one last thing, the too long to read edition. It's not about Kendrick winning, but his win means more if the people he allegedly beat are the people that we think should have been in the race with him. Just remember that. Okay. Let's keep it going, people. Let's keep it going. All right. A couple moments that's popping out from that award show. Apparently Trevor Noah hosted it, and Kendrick was in attendance. Kendrick was in attendance, and apparently he had a couple of jokes. So let's see if we can watch a little bit of it. I don't think they'll copyright me. But this is Kendrick Lamar Duckworth. He's right here. Isn't this the guy from TDE? Like the son? Like the TDE guy's son? Anyway, let's see if we could play it. I think there's a 1-minute version. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, maybe there's not. Maybe there's not. I saw like a 2-minute version. Okay, here we go. Ready?
I actually thought about writing a few jokes, roasting you, but then I remembered what you can do to light-skinned dudes from other countries.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, me and my delegation are still recovering from the pain, so I'm just saying congratulations. And can I just say, hip-hop beef has gone to a new level. Like, rappers are doing full-on detective work on your life. You know, you beef with Kendrick, he's investigating you, your crew. You beef with 50 Cent, he'll make a 4-part documentary exposing what a violent creep you've been your whole life. Things have changed. It was so much simpler when all you had to worry about was being shot. But now they also hurt your feelings. I actually thought of...
Interesting. Yeah, I thought that was a funny attempt. He basically was saying, Kendrick and 50, they're kind of like, two-headed monster. 50 will create a documentary. Kendrick will, will just give a whole narrative about you, and it is what it is. That was like an interesting moment. Did Kendrick do a speech? I think his awards that he won weren't on screen. Or they apparently only did 9 awards. So what they do is they do like a separate ceremony where they kind of like they announce the awards, but it's not televised. And the reason why they have gone to only 9 awards is that essentially these award shows is all about advertisements. And as the Grammys used to be a thing where it was like an 8-9 hour thing. And I think now like they realize it doesn't do as well. So they're trying to just highlight the most important parts that's star-studded, and this is why, like, they're trying to cut out some of the fat that they think people might not tune into, right? They did have Bad Bunny in the building. I'm not sure if Taylor Swift was there, but they had Kendrick Lamar. The Weeknd wasn't there, and Drake wasn't there because they've sworn off the Grammys. They have vowed to never submit, even though at times things might be submitted on their behalf. I believe that because Drake did a joint album with Party Next Door's label, which is Sony, may have submitted that album. I'm not sure if it got nominated at all, though. Okay. Any other interesting moments? Matter of fact, we do have the winners list here, so let's see if we could go down that. I see some people still donating, talking about I should talk about Trump, right? We can. Or not Trump, the Epstein files. But also, I've seen some people thought I was picking and choosing because I focused on the rap or the rappers that was mentioned in the Epstein files. And they were like, yo, why did you talk about Trump? We could talk about Trump too. Like, we're not really like, we're not, listen, I'm not them other guys when it comes to like protecting Jay-Z. Like, I rock with Trump, but like, if there's some shit, we could read it, We'll get to that conversation when it comes to Jay, though. Let's see. Did any? Oh, yeah. Okay. Somebody Who Loves Me did get nominated. It didn't win. It actually lost for Best Melodic Rap Performance. Somebody Who Loves Me lost to Kendrick. And here, let me see. By the way, I have no problem with Luther winning. I've never heard this song right here. I got to be honest. We Maj, I've never heard of it. Like, this is why sometimes I'm like, do I cover rap? Because I never heard this shit. Y'all heard this shit, right? And with all due respect, like, the Wholeheartedly song, whatever. Yeah, I feel like there's other candidates that could have made it, but I want to be hating. All right. Okay. So there was one nominee for Drake and Party, but, submitted by Party's label, didn't make it. Who cares? All right. Any moments that we should look at? Could y'all spam? You want me to talk about Elon? We can talk about Elon. You guys can spam or like send a donation or whatever you can. If there's an interesting moment that I missed, remember I was at the game, so I didn't watch every single thing, and I usually don't watch award shows like on a like sit down and watch it anymore. I don't do that anymore, you know. So I usually catch clips. So if there's a clip that's going around pertaining to the Grammys before we get off of the Grammys, I want you guys to tell me that I could at least highlight it. Okay. We are going to get to Bad Bunny in a second. Anything else? Somebody says, host your own hip-hop awards show. Yeah, I mean, you know, we've actually always talked about that. Me and the other media companies, independent media companies that are successful. Here's the thing, though. And by the way, shout out to Jason Lee. I know he did an award show, not necessarily a music award show, but he did an award show. The problem here is that rappers are dick riders, and really musicians, period, right? They look at the prestige of the Grammy, even if the Grammy don't really match what the culture is saying, and they'll show up to that. You think if, let's take me out of the equation. You think if there's an independent YouTuber that's really popular, or I don't know, let's say it's a streamer, and let's say they're super pro Kendrick Lamar, but they wanted to host an award show on rap. You think Kendrick will show up to that? We don't know. Like Kendrick he's not showing up to that, bro. Right? Like you're only going to see Kendrick at the Met Gala, Super Bowl, and you're going to see him at the Grammys. That's it. He's not, and maybe like the TDE thing, but that's like probably like through them twisting his arm. You're not going to see him nowhere else. Think about how many media niggas was dick riding him. Not one interview. Not a shout out. Not a cameo. Nothing. So again, that's the problem with an independent person trying to do something that is, more accurate. These guys ain't going to support you. Right? And I'm not only saying Kendrick. None of these guys are going to support you. You think J. Cole's going to come out or whatever 4 seasons in? Fuck no. I got to give credit to Cardi B, though, because when Jason Lee held his award show, Cardi B did show up and, use her star power to give that award show some light. But otherwise, you think these guys only follow the clout. They follow the clout. It's the same reason why these guys, I always say when people start beefing with me, they don't really got a problem with me. Is that they're saying usually I don't cover them enough. Like, if I was like super in their corner, they would never have a problem with me. But here's the thing. These guys rather beef with me than say, fuck Akademiks. I'm never going to acknowledge him. I'm going to go build this other blogger that loves me. They won't do it. They follow the clout. So that's why I think that's tough to do. Okay. Please just tell me the moments that, tell me any moments that if you guys did watch or you see it on Twitter, that's interesting. And we'll kind of like, address it. I do want to get to this Bad Bunny situation. I think it's very important to talk about that as well.